Mr. President.
I recognize the Republican whip.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the quorum call be vitiated.
Without objection.
Mr. President, it's astonishing as I come to the floor to listen to the Democrat minority leader. We just heard his comments about foreign aid keeping Russia and China at bay. If it were only the case. The minority leader has a long and spirited history of wasting American taxpayer dollars. Now he wants to send taxpayer dollars overseas to pay for climate projects and vegan food programs. Apparently that's what he means when he talks about foreign aid keeping Russia and China at bay. He forgot to mention that he wants to spend $500,000 to put electric vehicles, electric buses, on the streets of Rwanda. He forgot to mention that he wants to spend $6 million on net zero cities in Mexico. He forgot to mention that he wants to continue to spend over $100,000 for media training in Liberia. Mr. President, I ask, how does that keep Russia and China at bay? Failed to mention that he wants to continue to spend $3.3 million on civic engagement in Zimbabwe. Didn't say any of that because there's no good reason at all for that kind of wasteful Washington spending. None of this spending helps farmers or ranchers in my home state of Wyoming. None of this spending helps struggling families. In November, Americans voted to end this wasteful Washington spending. The voters got it right. Chuck Schumer gets it wrong. How many people went to the polls and told politicians to spend $7.4 million of their hard-earned money on teaching foreign countries about environmental racism? No one. Democrats love to hide behind fear-mongering, and that's what the minority leader has done again today. Democrats never stand up and defend their spending on the merits. I don't see Democrats coming to the floor and talking about those projects that they want to see continued because they know it doesn't hold up to the least amount of public scrutiny. The American people look at this, and for them the issue is quite simple. Their taxpayer dollars are being wasted and have been wasted for a long time, and the Democrats in this body want to continue wasting them. We still have families digging out from the worst inflation in 40 years. We have cities overwhelmed by illegal immigrants and the crime that they are bringing to these communities. People deserve to have their taxpayer dollars spent on issues that are focused on their priorities. President Trump sent Congress a proposal to rein in some of the worst wasteful spending. How did the Democrats respond? Well, they're threatening to shut down the government of the United States. Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to protect programs most Americans didn't know even existed, and they wouldn't support if they knew they existed. And that's what we're doing today, exposing some of these terrible programs and wasteful Washington spending. It's indefensible what's happened with spending in the past in the last administration. Look, if we have another Schumer shutdown, we've had one before, if we have another one, the American people will pay a heavy price. Seniors who rely on Social Security, military families living paycheck to paycheck, and Border Patrol agents will be forced to work without pay. Why? So the Democrats can continue to send Americans' taxpayer dollars to foreign countries for very questionable projects. Now, I've heard the minority leader lecture us before about bipartisanship and regular order. Well, look what's happened. When Senator Schumer was the majority leader of the United States Senate a year ago, the Senate Appropriations Committee, the committee itself, passed 11 of 12 appropriations bills. They did it by the summer of 2024, 1 year ago from now. Many of those bills that came through the committee received unanimous support by the Republicans and the Democrats on the committee. So what happened? Well, Republicans supported getting all of these bills done on time through the committee, bipartisan basis. What did he do? What did Senator Schumer do with these bills? He was the majority leader. He had control of the agenda on the floor of the United States Senate. He sat on them for 225 days. Didn't bring them to the floor of the United States. Oh, no. Refused to bring a single bill to the floor of the United States Senate for a single vote. Not because he couldn't, because he refused to. The American voters revolted, changed parties to the President, the Senate, and the House. And now he wants to be the one to blame Republicans for gridlock. This is the height of hypocrisy. That's what we're dealing with, Mr. President. I'm all for regular order. That's why I want to commend Senator Susan Collins for her leadership now as the Republican chairman of the Appropriations Committee in the Senate. She is working in good faith. She's committed to getting the job done. This debate is about more than dollars and cents. It's about priorities and how we spend American taxpayer dollars. Americans didn't vote to continue the Green New Deal or even try to force it on the rest of the world. The American people voted to fix what's broken here at home. Republicans have our priorities straight. Republicans are focusing on making our nation safer and more prosperous. Republicans are getting this country back on track. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
The clerk will